Hello, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the J Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Nowakowski, and without further ado, let's get into today's episode. So first, I want to start off. I hope everyone enjoyed that conversation, interview I had with Phil Mackey of Score North. That was super awesome. I had such a blast doing that with him. He's such a great guy. Um, and yeah, go check out Score North for all your Minnesota sports. They have Purple Daily for the Vikings. They also have Mackey and Judd, where it's Timberwolves, Vikings, and Twins, and the Minnesota Wild during hockey season as well. So they're super awesome. They're great guys. All Declan, Mackey, Judd, all of them are great guys. But yeah, go check them out if you're into any of those Minnesota sports teams. And so I listen to them every day, being a Vikings fan. But it was just really cool to have Phil on and talk to him about the Vikings and off season and all of that. It was just really cool, and I'm really glad I was able to have that conversation with him. But yeah, if you haven't listened to it, go check out my last video, episode 55. It's about 30 minutes long, where we talk about Aaron Rodgers, Danielle Hunter, and some Minnesota Vikings stuff. But yeah, go check that out if you haven't already. And as I'm recording this video, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., you can't see on the back, but I'm wearing the jersey. It's Vlad Jr. on the back. Got the Blue Jays hat on. He had just hit 10 minutes ago, maybe. He hit his 20th homer of the year. He is the first to 20. Breakout season. He is hitting over 330. He's leading all AL Triple Crown races. He has the most RBIs, the most homers, and he has the best average in the American League at the moment. So, Vladdy having a breakout year. Oh, I got this signature on the hat too here. But yeah, Vladdy having a breakout year. I'm very happy to see it because I hated all of the hate on he's overrated, this and that. And he's proven all of them wrong right now, He's proven all of them wrong. But at the time I'm recording, he just hit his 20th home run. But that's not what I'm going to be talking mostly about today. Today I'm going to be talking about Julio Jones trade and then the sticky substance situation going on in the MLB. So without further ado, let's start it off with that Julio Jones trade. So Julio Jones was traded to the Tennessee Titans. Yeah. So Julio Jones goes to the Titans, and so AJ Brown, very excited. Obviously, he had been recruiting him really, really hard, and really wanted him in Tennessee. And well, it happened. Yeah. So the trade went down on Sunday. So this will come out on Sunday. So a week ago, we'll say. He was traded to the Tennessee Titans, and I really didn't see what exactly they traded off. The Titans are sending a 2022 second round pick and a 2023 fourth round pick. Along with Jones, the Falcons send a 2023 sixth round pick to the Titans. So Atlanta said they wanted a first. They obviously didn't get that. They got a second and a fourth, but they sent a sixth and Julio Jones. And I think this is a good trade for Tennessee and Atlanta. I mean, yeah, second round pick, that's good. The fourth round pick, don't know how much value that's going to have really in 2024. You never know, though. They could package that to move up or whatever, but for Atlanta, it seems like they're in a rebuilding stage now, which is weird because they still have Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley. They just drafted Kyle Pitts, and then they shipped off Julio Jones. I thought he was going to stay for one more season to see how it went with these guys, but Julio wanted out. He got his wish. And I don't think this dramatically changes the division race for the Titans. I still think that it's going to be close between them and the Colts because the Colts have a great defense and Tennessee's got the offense. They, AJ Brown, Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill, Julio Jones. That's a great offense. That's really talented. Julio Jones, yes, 32 years old. He's up there in age, but he's still an effective wide receiver. He's still good. He's still Julio Jones, But another target for Ryan Tannehill, let's talk about Ryan Tannehill for a minute. This man deserves way more credit than he's ever gotten. Remember last year when the Titans gave him that contract and everyone was like, you're really paying Ryan Tannehill X amount of money or however much it was for him to just hand the ball off to Derrick Henry. And I was like, I've liked Ryan Tannehill. I've always been a fan. But everyone was just giving him so much shit. I mean, you're giving him that much money just to hand the ball off. Well, Ryan Tannehill had 33 touchdowns and 7 interceptions last year. That's a real damn good season. 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. I mean, that's great. He had a 66%, 65% completion percentage. That's good. That's good. And then the touchdown to interception ratio, that's great. That's almost 7 touchdowns per almost 5 touchdowns per interception, which, yeah, I will take that. And Derrick Henry had a great year. But, I mean, I don't understand, people need to lay off on Ryan Tannehill, definitely. Yeah, sure, he's getting paid a lot of money, but he's putting up numbers. And he's not just handing the ball off to Derrick Henry. And now he has Julio Jones to throw to. So I think I still favor the Titans in the division, but their defense I have some worries on the defensive end for them. So, I do have a worry there on what their defense is going to look like, if they can hold up against, when they play the Colts and stuff, and we'll see how Carson Wentz does there and everything. And I'm sorry if you're hearing noises. I've got a cat in front of me who is playing and messing around. But sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Oh, another really cool thing that happened with the trade was because AJ Brown wears number 11, so does Julio Jones. And AJ Brown was like, "Yo, man, he was first a big advocate to get him there, and then he got there and he's like, yo, dude, I freaking love you, and you can have my number." And Julio was like, "No, man, I'm good. I'm going number 2. I'm cool with that." And AJ Brown, tweeted, "Respect. That's awesome." And so really cool move, cool move by Julio, not being petty about the number. And he's like, "No, man, that's your number. I'm cool. I'm changing it. I changed teams, changed my number. I'm cool with that." So I thought that was a really cool moment, but I just wanted to talk over that trade for a little bit. So yeah, Julio Jones to Tennessee, I think it helps the offense, but my concerns for Tennessee are on the defensive side. So, when I do an NFL season preview, I'll kind of talk more about it, get more into it. And yeah, I think, I'll get more into it then. But that's all. I just wanted to talk over the trade, get those thoughts out there. And so the only other thing I'm going to talk about today is the MLB substance abuse sticky situation with pitchers going on. So the MLB has said multiple times this year they're going to start cracking down and we're going to start suspending guys. And it's only happened in the minor leagues so far. They suspended 4 guys in the minor leagues for 10 games. But the substance that's being talked about is called spider tack. It's used for like the heavy lifter bodybuilders to get a grip when they do the heavy lifting, so they don't lose a grip on it. And supposedly pitchers are using that and getting a better grip on baseballs, helping with their spin rates, all of this and that. And so, that was, a good conversation to talk about and everything. But it happened this week. Gerrit Cole's interview. He had I don't even want to say interesting words because he could barely get out words when he was asked about using the substance. I'm pulling it up right now. The interview, and I will, play it. Let me pull it up right now. So this was Gerrit Cole. He was asked directly, like straight up directly, if he uses spider tack, and his answer was like, his answer was something. That's all I can say. If you haven't heard it already, Here it is. So this is Gerrit Cole asked if he used Spider Tack.
And have you ever used Spider Tack while pitching?
I don't know. I don't know if I don't quite know how to answer that, to be honest. I mean, there are customs and practices that have been passed down from older players to younger players, from the last generation of players to this generation of players, and I think there are some things that are certainly out of bounds in that regard, and I've stood pretty firm in terms of that, in terms of the communication between our peers and whatnot. Again, like I mentioned earlier, there's, this is important to a lot of people that live together.
And if you in the beginning, that long pause, if you thought there was a connection mishap, no, that was just him pausing to think and say, I don't know how to answer that. It was a yes or no question. Pretty easy to answer. Do you use Spider Tack? I don't know how to answer that question. Huh? And what? Like that was the worst possible answer you could have given right there. Like the worst possible answer, right? Like that's the last thing you want to say. It's a question, at least that specific question is yeah, I don't know. So, and then that got the whole world like boo swirling, and all the rumors were going crazy. Gerrit Cole, and Gerrit Cole's name has been mentioned before, and some other things. And I'm going to get into those because I think the MLB needs to look back at something they may have just pushed off to the side. I think they need to look more into it and look into the validity of it because, yeah, I'm just going to say that. I'll get into it in just a minute. But I do believe pitchers do use substances to increase their... I think it started as increasing their grip. I think it started out as being harmless and, legit. Okay, I need to increase my grip. I want to get a better grip on the baseball, which I think hitters are totally okay with. Every hitter will say, if it's for better grip, that's fine. But it's when it starts affecting that fastball spin rate. That's the important one. Not just spin rate in general, the fastball spin rate. Because when your fastball spin rate increases and you're Gerrit Cole or Justin Verlander or Max Scherzer and you can hit 97, 98, 99, 100 at the top of the zone, and then you're adding that type of spin rate to it, pitch is almost unhittable. That's where I think some hitters are having an issue with this is, okay, it's fine to use it for grip, but now you're using it to get an unfair advantage against me. And I have a few ideas on what the MLB can do about it, and I'll get into those in just a minute. But I want to talk about something that I think the MLB kind of brushed away and from what happened a while ago. Yes, here we go. So this happened back on this was in January of 2021. And this was when the Angels fired a personnel person for giving out a sticky substance. It was... So this was March of 2020. This happened in March of 2020. So right before COVID. And everybody kind of forgot about this, and I think we should bring it back up. And I haven't heard anyone really talk about it, but I think we should start talking about it now. So I am going to just explain what happened. So this was the Angels visiting clubhouse manager. He had been there for a long time. He was his name Brian Harkins. He was fired after aiding opposing and their own pitchers by providing ball doctoring substance to opposing pitchers. He'd worked for the Angels for 30 years. So here are where is the art? So I'm looking for the ESPN article. He named names. Brian Harkins named names. I just want to find out the specific names because okay. Here we go. Okay. Okay, here are the names. So the names he mentioned: Gerrit Cole, Justin Verlander, Corey Kluber, Max Scherzer, Felix Hernandez, and Adam Wainwright, as well as several current and former Angel pitchers as well. I'm looking for those names as well. I know it. Man, I found a whole thing with all the names on it. Earlier, I don't know why I can't find it now. Oh, okay. Here we go. So, so here are the Angel players he named: Troy Percival, Brendan Donnelly, Tyler Chatwood, Kevin Jepson, Cam Bedrosian, Kenyon Middleton, Yusmero Petit, Luke Bard, Matt Andrees, Dylan Peters, Jose Suarez, and Dylan Bundy. Now it's okay. Dylan Bundy's interesting because he has came alive the last 2 years. So that's interesting. Just the timeline and stuff on that. But so Brian Bubba Harkins, so he named Gerrit Cole, and he had text messages from Gerrit Cole. Here's the text message that it read: "Hey Bubba, it's Gerrit Cole. I was wondering if you could help me out with this sticky situation." Winky face emoji. We don't see you until May, but we have some road games in April that are in cold weather places. The stuff I had last year seizes up when it gets cold. What more evidence do you need than that text message right there? Like, what? Like, what? That is so, like, whoa. So, like, he has a text message from Gerrit Cole asking for this sticky substance, and saying that what he was using seized up in the cold weather. And I do believe a lot of pitchers, more than what named names, use substances. But we're talking about Gerrit Cole and Trevor Bauer because they're the big name guys. They're getting paid big money, and I totally hear where people are coming from. But with Gerrit Cole, this is interesting because I want to show you his numbers, and there's a few things that just kind of like I don't want to say startle me, but just make me think a little bit more. So with Pittsburgh, he was a rotation piece. He was supposed to be an ace, and he didn't really turn into it. He kind of was disappointing. But in 2017, year 26, he went 12-12. He started all 33 of his starts, goes 203 innings, and he strikes out 196 hitters. Now he gets traded to Houston, age 27 season. He starts 32 times, so he starts one less than the year before. He pitches 203rd inning. So he pitched 3 less innings, and he had 276 strikeouts. He had 1 less start, 3 less innings, and had 80 more strikeouts. And then the next year, he has 326 strikeouts. And then he gets paid. Now, in that year 26 season, a 4.26 ERA, it dropped to 2.88 in that first year in Houston in 2018. That improvement, and that is also when his spin rate started to go up. That improvement is just so much to me. That's such a big improvement for me. I don't see how how that could happen like that. I don't see how that could happen like that without using something. Like that is such a huge improvement. You started less games, pitched less innings, and your strikeouts were up, and your ERA was down almost a whole 2. Almost a whole 2. He was at 4 something. He was at 4, and he ended with 2.8. He was at 4.42, and he went down to 2.8. And I don't know. It's just that's just a starting number, and then you can also look at the spin rates have increased every year, and his spin rate is absolutely insane where it's at now. And Trevor Bauer's has gone up as well. I will admit, his has gone up as well. So what does the MLB do about this? Because you're not going to suspend all of these big name guys for a long time. So I think what you're going to have to do is this. You're going to have to say, hey, okay, look, we are really going to crack down, and we're going to come up with a new set of rules. Screw pace of play. This is what we're going to do. And I haven't heard this idea thrown out, and if someone else has had this idea, I really haven't. I just came up with this in my head a few days ago, and I was like, that kind of actually sounds like it would work. So let me just give you so here's what I would do. I am the MLB. I hire a personal dugout person for each team, every team. So the Dodgers have one, the Angels have one, Rockies. Every single MLB team has one of these guys who works for the MLB, not for the Dodgers. They work for the MLB. And 10 minutes before the game starts, you're gonna look at all of the gloves. And I say that because some third basemen put pine tar and they use that. Some catchers add some stuff. I've seen reports on catchers putting stuff behind their shin guard to use to get better grips. So I'm looking at all of the gloves, and I'm just checking, you set a legal amount that you're allowed to have on your glove. If there's a legal amount you're allowed to have on your glove, you set that target, you check it, feel it. Is it the legal amount? Okay, that glove's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Go through all the gloves. Before the pitcher walks out, you have the umpires check him up head to toe, check him for any sticky substance around anything, any of it. Check the pitcher. You check the catcher's equipment, pat that down, check all of it, make sure it's all good. And then, every, I would say 2 to 3 innings, or when there's a pitching change, the home plate umpire before the warm-up pitches, hey, let me check you. Let me check around your neck, head, hat, bill, all of that, your shirt, anything on your forearms. I would check them every 2 to 3 innings. And if you say, oh, okay, that's not good, you're gone. If you find something and say, all right, that's it, you're gone. You tried to change it mid-game because in the first inning you were fine, and here you are in the fourth and you're not, So that's what I would do. I know it might mess with the pace of play, but have that guy before the game, players' gloves stand here. The game-worn gloves are going to be here. And then, if you have like the defensive substitutions, a player moves from left to second, like Chris Taylor does. Okay. Oh, this is your second baseman's glove. Let me check it real quick. All right, you're good. That's what I would do, because that's going to make sure that ensures the pitchers won't be using the substance. That ensures that the third baseman or whoever isn't using, and that the catcher isn't. And, if there's a catcher change, you check the new catcher's equipment as well. That's what I would do if you are actually saying you want to be serious about cracking down on pitchers using substances. That's what you need to do. Now, I think the rosin bag, I think that's fine. The rosin should be enough to get you a better grip on the baseball, right? You don't need to, I think the rosin is enough to give you a better grip on the baseball. So, that's what I would do if I'm the MLB. I am checking everyone's glove that is going to be on the field. And when there are substitutions, you say, give me 30 seconds to check your glove. Okay. You check all of the gloves, you check the catcher's equipment, and you check the pitcher. And then before he goes out to warm up every 2 to 3 innings, check him again. And I said, okay, well, what about that inning in between? Okay. if you want that way, check him every inning if you really want. But I think that might be a little too much. But every 2 to 3 innings, check the pitcher. I would. That's what I would do. I would check the pitcher. I would check the catcher. Check the gloves. But every 2 innings, check the pitcher before the game. Check the catcher. Check the other players, and then that attendant just stays there the whole game, and he just watches, because what if the catcher tries to do something in the middle of the game? Just have him sitting there watching, making sure no funny business is going on. That's what I would do. If I'm the MLB, that's the solution I've come up with to help with this issue. That's what I think they should do. But, we'll see what happens. We'll see what suspensions are come out. It is interesting. The spin rates have dropped from a lot of pitchers in the last few starts, so that does make you a little bit more suspicious. But I just wanted to talk to you about the sticky situation going on in baseball and, give you more background about it, talk about Brian Harkins and, what I come up with as a possible solution. But that's all I got for today's episode. So please tell me what you guys think about my idea to fix the MLB and the substance policy on pitchers. Let me know your own ideas. Let me know if you think you like my idea, you disagree with my idea, problems you see with my idea. And maybe drop some names on pitchers you think are using substances, all of that. Comment on YouTube, comment on my Instagram post. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, J_sports_podcast. Subscribe on YouTube. Hit the like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow me on Spotify. 5-star review on Apple, and rate and review me. That would really mean a lot to me. You guys have a great rest of your weekend. And until next time, this has been Joshua Nowakowski of the J Sports Podcast.